or your product. Call us on 0114 777 000 or email us on info@faithtodaytv.co.ke.
Every great journey begins with a single step. And at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, that step is met with warmth, guidance, and possibility. Here, learning goes beyond the books. It is where future healthcare heroes are nurtured by passionate instructors who believe in their potential. From theory to practical, our healthcare assistant students gain real-world skills in a real healthcare setting, preparing to serve, support, and make a difference from day one. Because at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, we don't just teach healthcare. We empower excellence. Admissions are now open for our May and June intakes. Step into your future today. Find us at Blessed House, 5th floor, opposite Garden City Mall. JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, empowering excellent healthcare.
At JCK Hospital, we understand that a child's smile is priceless. That's why our dental services are tailored with care and compassion to ensure your little ones have the best experience possible. From gentle checkups to specialized treatments, our pediatric dental experts create a safe and friendly environment, making every visit fun and stress-free. Because we believe healthy habits start young. And for the grown-ups, we've got you covered too, with top-notch dental care for the whole family. Visit JCK Hospital today, located in Roysambu, opposite Park University on Lumumba Drive, and experience dental care that's gentle, professional, and family-friendly. JCK Hospital, you first.
Depression, often considered as merely losing hope or feeling down. According to the World Health Organization, it is not just a disease, it is a disability affecting thousands of people. More than 280 million people are affected in the whole world. Now, have you or do you have a loved one who has felt this way before? Less than 25% of people affected by depression get the necessary treatment. Now join us as we explore depression and its impact on our health. Very important. Greetings and welcome to yet another episode of The Healthy You. This is your favorite health program on Faith Day Television. We bring you weekly expert health insights with hope. My name is Enock Kitondekijja, your host. Now, a special thanks goes to JCK Hospital. These are our distinguished partners. They make this program possible. And you can find them in Roysambu along Lumumba Drive, just opposite Park University. The topic of our discussion today is very interesting. You cannot ignore it. Depression and physical illness. And the argument is losing hope. Losing hope is a factor. And to help us unpack this is a panel, a well-sought expert, a clinical psychologist, from Lifebridge Hospital to help us break this down for you. We also have a lady, a nurse, working at JCK Hospital with more than 25 years of experience, just here with us to break down depression. Now, this is a time whereby you invite your friend, a relative, share this link with them, and make sure you don't miss a bit of it. But before I invite them to take us to the next level, I'm aware of those of you who follow us on social media, that is YouTube and Facebook. You do so well. We want to request you to partner with us as we make this message go out there. Partner with us by simply subscribing. Press that notification button so that you are notified whenever this information is coming along. Thank you so much. Back to my guests. They always say, ladies first. Ladies first. Awesome. And of course, let us begin with the ladies. Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Enock. I'm glad to be here. My name's Veronica Mwai. I am a nurse KLCHN. I've worked for the last 26 years. I have worked in various sectors as a nurse, and I'm also glad I'm a mother of two, a girl and a boy.
Wow.
Thank you.
And you are welcome to the show. Those of you who are just joining us, Veronica is no ordinary healthy worker. She has more than 25 years of experience. So you just don't need to miss this discussion today. And the next gentleman that we are having on the screens, as you can see, is a man with a great wealth of experience. But I don't want to cut short or hijack the detail. I would request him to introduce himself fully.
Thank you, Enock. It has been a while since we last met. My name is Vincent Mokaya. I'm a clinical psychologist from Lifebridge Hospital, and it's an honor to be here once again, as we observe this Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes. And I'm glad that today we're talking about this topic. It's very sensitive, and none of us is exceptional to it.
Yeah.
So we are honored to be here today as we enlighten the community and share the information, because through sharing of information, it is one way of helping our community even seek help. Yes.
And of course, that is why we have you today. The last time we had a discussion with you, you were very generous with the information.
Yes.
We are really glad to have you again. To kick off, Daktari,
yes,
we really want to now understand depression in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you are here,
yes,
you will also help us understand the connection between depression and physical health or even illness.
Yes.
To begin with.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a great question. To start with, maybe we can help our viewers understand what depression is in a simple nutshell. Depression simply, if to describe it in a layman's language, is a mood disorder or a mental health illness that interferes with how a person think, feel, or act, and it interferes with their daily functioning, either at work, at school, or in any other normal functioning. And when one start experiencing some of these symptoms, they might start experiencing some sadness they cannot understand. They withdraw from people. There is, a lack of interest in things that they previously actually enjoyed, whether it is football, spending time with the family members. And when one experiences such symptoms, it could be a sign that they might be experiencing something that is unusual, and therefore it should be taken note into it. And actually it is said that more women suffer than men. Statistics shows that 2 out of 3 suffer from depression, women, and 1 out of 3 men suffer from depression. Yeah. And generally 1 out of 4, as it is proven from World Health Organization, 1 out of 4 people suffer from mental health illnesses. And as we have said, depression is one of the mental illnesses. And we can say that if 1 out of 4 are struggling with mental illnesses, therefore, if you have a congregation of 4 people or 5 in one setting, 1 or 2 people in that setting might be experiencing that condition.
Oh.
Yes.
And thank you for the statistics. I'm sure it doesn't catch us because we're just 3 of us. But now that you highlighted
yes,
women, we have Vero here to give us the overview of depression. What is it like for the women?
Thank you, Enock. That's a very good question and a great one. I thank Daktari for bringing it out very well. But I also think depression is a feeling of sadness and changes in behavior, the way somebody behaves, and also activities that you are doing. Just to add on what Dr. has said, things that you are enjoying doing, like going to football, working with your colleagues, social things, you stop doing them. And Dr. has also mentioned a very good thing that I also wish to add, that women, so the statistics of women. But Dr. I think men are slow in seeking health advice. So what I would say, the word I would say outside is that men should start seeking, because they are also suffering from depression at home, but they don't come to seek for medical advice. So as we talk, men should also come, because I have seen many men that are suffering from depression, but once you mention a depression to them, it's like a no-go zone. That one we should not touch there. Also children and young adults. I have seen many, during my working experience, many children suffering from depression, and many parents don't know, because maybe of changes that occur during their life, sudden changes. We also say that depression is not a feeling of sadness, because you may feel sad, and it is not a way of grieving. It's not a grief. Depression is a disorder, is a condition that should be treated.
Yes. Yes. And maybe to add on what my fellow colleague has said here, we're having a challenge with men, seeking help. And that's why we might find that there is more statistics showing how female are affected, because they are easy to seeking help as compared to men. So most probably there could be also statistics showing that even more men are more affected than women, because men tend to shy away from treatment, especially when they hear the word illnesses, mental illnesses, or generally even physical illnesses. Yes.
Yeah. And I like the way you bring it out that men could be also really affected in a big way.
Yes.
Only for the women, they kind of seek help, but that's why the statistics show that more women are affected.
True.
And I would love to understand, how is it like in Kenya? What is the prevalency like? What is the burden like in Kenya? Daktari.
Oh, thank you so much. According to the last review I checked, it was showing that 1 to 16%, actually in the developing country, before we come to Africa, depression is a major burden, and it is costing the government worldwide. As you can see, 1 out of 16%. And earlier on, I heard you say that 280 million is such a huge number that is affected by depression. And most of these people actually, they don't seek help, because maybe they are associated with normal things until it escalates to worse conditions. In Kenya, or in Africa, actually Kenya is ranked as the 5th country that is struggling with depression in Africa. So it is, you can see, out of the many countries in Africa, that Kenya is mentioned as the 5th in ranks that is experiencing the greatest problem of depression. That means our people are struggling.
People are struggling.
Yes.
Number 5. That is really
the 5th in Africa.
It is really close.
Yes.
I mean, those of you who are just joining us, the discussion is just getting started. And as you can tell, these people are heated up with information. They are ready to help, and they are right here with us. Now, if in case you have any question, use that number on your screen. Send it in right now. And remember, the earlier you do, the better. Dr. you talk about number 5, Kenya. I think in Africa it could be number 1. I mean, I'll get it from you.
Okay.
Tell us about how, where does it come from? Why are people depressed?
Why are people depressed? There is no one singular cause that we can point to that can dictate why people are depressed or why people are experiencing these conditions. But we can at least have an idea of what is likely causes or factors that can lead to depression. One of them maybe is the normal changes in the environment, like in the current state, economy, sometimes finances can be very distressing. And when one is not able to cater their basic needs, food, shelter. They cannot able to take their school. They cannot able to, to provide for their family to the point whereby they feel they are comfortable. Apart from that, there are other factors such as neurological factors, genetics, where if one inherits some of the traits from their family members or the great parents who had the condition, so they are likely to predisposed to depression or mental health illnesses. Apart from that, there are psychological events within the environment which can be very stressful, like grief. Grief is sometimes people take it very lightly, but it goes a long way to just not grieving. And apart from grief, stressful events that can be people like in combat, our police officers, like you remember when the Gen Z were on the streets. Those are stressful events, and there are many more stressful events that we cannot exhaust given in our environment, among many others.
Among many others.
Yes.
When people are really stressed.
Yes.
And I would want to hear from Madame Veronica, now that you're in the community and working with JCK Hospital that is now, renowned, do you get these cases? Are there people who present with probably physical illnesses that later turn into a depression? How is it like?
Thank you, Enoch. When I'm working as a nurse, you meet many types of people. Like now, in JCK, I am in maternity unit, where you meet women who have conceived without acknowledging that maybe they had not planned that they want to conceive. They
Yes.
meet themselves in that situation and they become depressed. There is also another depression that is related to pregnancy, the post and pre antenatal. So you meet women who have delivered and it is out of their will, and sometimes they even want to, maybe they don't want that child, so you have to work with them. Mostly children, you meet them that they tell you, my daddy separated with my mommy, now I have to live with my daddy and with my mommy, and when I go to my daddy, I meet another aunt.
Yes.
That's another thing, that you meet children who are brought to the hospital with maybe abdominal pains. They are not feeding. Also depression affects your eating and sleeping patterns. And the children below 10, they become very irritable. And the mother will complain they don't want to keep the aunt, because the children they have depression. So we meet with these children. Also people who have prolonged illnesses like cancer, diabetes, we meet with them. And they are also suffering from depression, because some of them were working in big environments. Meet somebody who was in US, they have to come back because they have a prolonged illness, and the family is planning now that you have to come back so that once you die, we don't have all those expenses. Those are things that give people, especially men and women, adults, the depression.
Yeah.
You meet them as you work. Also young adults. Yet the adolescents, especially the ones going to the university, and you find them, sometimes we just say that they are taking alcohol and drugs, but we have not dug deep to know that why is my daughter taking drugs? Why? They are depressed and they are trying to take alcohol to fill this gap. So even the adolescents, we meet them in the hospital, they come, especially like here in Wisabu, the environmental out here. So we meet many young girls. I meet many young girls and boys who are blood drunken. And when you talk to them, you realize these people are depressed. These young men are depressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like the way you really broaden it for us to understand that, even children,
Yes.
you can imagine children are affected, and that is a challenge.
Yes.
Daktari,
Yes.
help us understand, how does this present? How do we tell that someone is probably depressed or is undergoing depression? What are the symptoms? Help us understand so that probably we can get into, we can even find out if there's even management. Can it be even treated?
Can be made. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful question. And as you have seen that from my colleague here, depression cuts across. It is not exception to any particular individual. whether you are a child, whether you are a teenager, whether you are a youth somewhere listening, or whether you are a mom, a dad, or anyone else in the community, they are easily affected. So for you to be able to know either your child or a friend or a colleague at work is affected by this condition called depression, what should you look into? One, you should look into their sleeping pattern. Sleeping pattern normally is very, very important, and we say that sleep is very healthy. It helps us to keep in check with ourselves, and whenever one starts to experiencing sleeping disturbances, they are not able to sleep, they are not able to have enough sleep, and even when they are not able to have enough sleep, in the following day they still don't need that sleep. It is a signal that one might be experiencing depression. Number two is lack of interest, as we early on said, lack of interest in any activities. These are people who are passionate about stuff. They are passionate about their family members. They are passionate about their work. They are passionate about friendships. But now at this point, when they are starting to experience this condition, they start feeling that sense of withdrawal. They start to withdraw, they start isolating. Sometimes they quarantine themselves. And now you can see the sleep patterns. They might start sleeping more and isolating more from the community. The other thing is psychomotor agitations. So you find that they are having difficulty moving around, doing activities. And then there is, as we said, a persistent depressed mood. They are low. They don't have energy. Their energy is very low. They don't want to engage in anything that is, involving or catching up. And then the other thing, they might have suicide ideations. They might start thinking of ending their lives because they feel no sense of life at any particular point, and they feel like their life is no longer worthwhile living. So they feel a sense of helplessness or hopelessness. And then more, it's guilt. They might start feeling also guilt. And guilt at this point, they feel like they are not worth living. Maybe because of our circumstances that happened. You can imagine if a parents have divorced and the child is here, is the most affected in such a scenario. They might start questioning themselves, what did I do? Or for my parents to get divorced. So the guilt start eating them up, and that one greatly affect them. Among many others, there are many others, we can't exhaust them.
And I like the way you are really elaborate with the detail, because I think that's very important for our viewers. You can tell people are suffering, people are going through depression, and it could be you or your loved one.
Yes.
One, despair, you've lost hope, you're isolating, they're isolating, there's sleep disturbances, there are changes in sleep patterns. That is a clinical feature. You have seen he has talked about even tiredness.
Yes.
People get to feel, the mood is low,
there's a lot of fatigue, energy is very low.
And then they're isolating themselves. I mean, that is very important. Those of you who are just joining us, remember, this program is brought to you by JCK Hospital. And of course, I know we are going to even get deeper into this discussion, but before we go through the management,
yes,
I would want to understand. I want to go ahead of myself for this discussion, because when you talk about how it presents, I really want to know if someone does not take an action, what happens if someone does not get treatment or the necessary attention?
If, like any other illnesses, like physical illnesses, like malaria, typhoid, or any other, if they don't seek help, the condition keep worsening. And as we have said, you can see they are starting to experience like signs of suicide. That's not a symptom that we all appreciate. So the symptoms can worsen, and it might lead to now other conditions, like what we call psychosomatic illnesses, where one is experiencing certain persistent pain that is not ceasing. They are taking painkillers, they have gone to see a clinician, physicians, but still they keep complaining of the same pain. That is a significant show that this depression is becoming worse and it's becoming a problem, and it can also lead to other mental illnesses or other physical illnesses in such a case. Yes.
Vero, I know we are going to take a short break, but what do you take of all this that we are discussing today? What comes to mind?
Yeah, that's good. Enock, I was feeling like there's something I want to add.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't understand that even when you are depressed, you need people may take the action of overeating or undereating. And I want to talk about overeating because sometimes when you overeat, people see that as if you are okay. You eat so much and you add weight. That's a way it should also be assessed to see whether you are depressed. Number 2, there is also the issue of depression in women. Women become more depressed and they eat a lot. And the husband may be thinking that this lady is just eating.
Yes.
It's just eating.
Yeah.
And they don't want to seek for medical advice. So sometimes if you see your wife or husband overeating, there could be something disturbing them. And that is not a good sign.
Yeah. Overeating.
Yes.
It's not that they have suddenly gotten an appetite.
An appetite.
Yes.
Okay. That's a challenge now.
Also seeking for medical advice.
Yeah.
Daktari has talked about persistent pain. I have seen many people that they go to the doctor and you say, I have headache or a common cold. And you get it many times. And it does not raise an alarm to a medical personnel.
Yeah.
It should raise an alarm. Could this person they are coming in and in with alcoholic syndrome, pain, and they are coming in and on.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a routine visit to the hospital.
Yeah.
At least there should be another way of addressing this person's issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should be taken to a counselor or maybe like Daktari here to know what is the clinical way and the mental way. And as we are celebrating the month of mental health
awareness. Yeah.
I would wish that many people come and seek. When you feel sad, persistent, I want to insist on the word persistent because in normal circumstances you are supposed to feel sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
But persistent sadness and feeling of
Despair.
low energy,
Despair.
you should at least seek. Which is persistent, you should at least seek medical advice.
I mean, and for our viewers, if you're getting it from not just a medical person, but a mother, I think it's very important. The statistics show us, I mean, the third most cause of death among young people, 15 to 29 years, is suicide. So there are so many suicide tendencies among the young people. So this discussion is very important. And I believe Daktari has something to add.
Yes.
But for those of you who are just tuning in, this is a discussion that you want to engage in, but not just casually, but helping us take this message out there.
True.
Let us, take this message out there.
True.
Because Daktari, very many people feel like depression is it's a weakness. Some people feel like it is a spiritual kind of thing. Help us understand that. I know we are going to take a short break.
Yes.
But I think it's more than a weakness.
Yes.
And we want to get the reasons why people need to really seek for help.
Sure.
What would you have to say?
Actually, I would like to add that from my colleague what she has said is that some of these issues, not only the persistent symptoms, these symptoms sometimes, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay sometimes to feel depressed, but sometimes it exceeds 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks, clinically, at least 2 weeks. It is, therefore, you need to seek help. And to our attention, it has come to our attention that people cover it up through substance use. There's a lot of substance, alcohol, and abuse of drugs. Some of them don't understand what is going on with their life. And therefore, to cover that depressed mood, to elevate their mood, they might tend to use certain substances, abuse alcohol, abuse drugs in such a case. And that one is an alarming case. And that one, might lead now to another condition. So condition from one condition, worsening the condition, and that one might lead also to immunity issues. The immunity of this person at this particular point is also declining. And that one will prompt them to other physical illnesses in such a case.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you so much for that background. And those of you who are just tuning in, you can tell this is nothing but value. And when he talks about lowering of the immunity, I think that is something that we can't take lightly, because we are now learning that depression comes in different phases. And this is a call to action. I know we are going to have a second part where Daktari is going to he has promised to tell us there is treatment. I think that is hope.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there are people who are out there and they don't know where they lie until when they are, I mean, really worse. And we don't want you to get into that direction, but there is hope now. We are going to take a short break, and when we return, we are going to understand the management plan. We've heard there is hope, but there is an approach to it, and also the prevention. We're also going to answer your questions. I hope you sent in your questions. Just 1 minute, keep it Faith Today Television.
Every great journey begins with a single step. And at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, that step is met with warmth, guidance, and possibility. Here, learning goes beyond the books. It is where future healthcare heroes are nurtured by passionate instructors who believe in their potential. From theory to practical, our healthcare assistant students gain real-world skills in a real healthcare setting, preparing to serve, support, and make a difference from day one. Because at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, we don't just teach healthcare. We empower excellence. Admissions are now open for our May and June intakes. Step into your future today. Find us at Blessed House, 5th floor, opposite Garden City Mall. JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, empowering excellent healthcare.
Faith Today TV is here to make your brand outstanding. Worry not on where to advertise your business or your product. Call us on 0114 777 000 or email us on info@faithtodaytv.co.ke.
Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV. All right, welcome back once again to our second segment. We are talking about depression and physical illnesses. We are unlocking the link. We are understanding how it presents in different people. We have been able to identify that nobody is immune. In the first part of that discussion, we are able to highlight the symptoms. We also know that there are people who are suffering and they have not gotten the treatment, which is very important. Again, in the first session, we also were able to understand that this is something that you don't want to take lightly, but there is hope. There is hope for it. In this segment, we are going to be focusing mostly on management and prevention. And before we get into the management, I know there's someone who's interested in knowing what are the different forms of depression, and we have experts in the building. Again, Vincent is in the house to help us unlock that.
Yes.
Daktari, before we go into the management,
yes,
I know you have prepared that information for us. Can you classify the different forms?
Okay, thank you so much, Daktari Enock,
Yeah.
once again. And it's important that we understand depression might manifest itself in different forms, in different ways, and also based in circumstances and situations. Maybe to start with, there is a clinical diagnosis normally for people who are struggling with depression for at least 2 weeks or more. Normally we call it MDD, or major depression, major depressive disorder. That is normally a clinical diagnosis.
That is when someone has really advanced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
And it at least gone for 2 weeks. Persistent sadness or depressed mood and lack of interest in previously enjoyed activities. It's very, very, very fundamental our viewers understand that. And then secondly, there is what we call bipolar depressive or bipolar depression. In such a case, there is individuals who have been diagnosed also with other mental illnesses, such as PMD, that is bipolar mood disorders. They also struggle with depression. That's someone who is struggling with, apart from the mania phase, they also experience a depressive phase that goes hand in hand with that diagnosis. Apart from that, there is also a diagnosis that is called persistent depressive disorder. In such a case, these symptoms, the symptoms of depression, the symptoms of this condition, they have gone on for a very long time. More than 1 month, it has gone to a year, and it has gone even more than 2 years. In such a case, it has become a persistent, and it's now like becoming a part and parcel of this person's life. Even when you ask them, they feel like it's very okay. It's very normal for them to be very depressed. That is not usual. It's a sign that you are experiencing a mental condition of depression and it needs management or you need help. Finally, but not least, it is the situational depressive disorder or situational depression. In such a case, we experience different situations on a day-to-day basis. Like I earlier on pointed out, for instance, grief, a divorce, losing a loved one. Our police officers and the combat people are being exposed to, those operational situations in such a circumstances and day-to-day activities that trigger us. Sometimes like being, stolen a phone, you have been hijacked, you have been robbed. Such a case. Those are situational circumstances, and they can lead to one starting to experience, why did this had to happen to me? Why me? And why at this particular point? So it's a situational kind of a depression phase, and it also needs management.
It's management.
Yes.
I see Madam Veronica smiling. I feel you have something to say. Do you want to add on that before?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enoch, I don't want the children and women to be left out.
Yeah.
Because I believe I'm so much of a mother.
Yes.
People should think of school-going children, because sometimes they also become depressed and you find them, their grades going down. So at least parents should be very observant in the schools they are taking their children and how they are relating with other children, because a child could be getting into depressed slowly. Also teenagers, when they go to, they are not performing well, and as parents we keep on telling them to perform, they also go in. So we should also look out at what causes, what also affect the children and during marriage and teenagers, because they also suffer from situational depression. And I think that is where situational depression, we may classify it as last, but it affects most of us, because also economic changes comes here in the situational depression. So when we are talking about depression, we should think about the situational, because that one is what causes. Also the major disorder, it is persistent sadness for 2 weeks, but it keeps on recurring, so that now it is treated and comes back because of a certain situation.
Yes.
So I hope that Tali will talk about it and when during management.
But we will also, it's important to note that depression is, out of the many mental health illnesses, depression is one of the mental illnesses that can be treated and be alleviated completely. Like if management is taken into action. But if now it is left there for a long time, that is when it becomes a problem. But if management is taken and prevention measures are taken into action, depression is something that we can completely get rid of.
Okay.
Yes,
So
or
what is the
rehabilitate.
plan like? I mean, do you want to conceal that from us, or you can give us an overview of how you do manage the depression?
I think the first management is very simple.
Yeah.
We need to talk to each other. We need to check on our friendship, you know, our family members.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen, situations happens, and we tend to neglect our family members, and sometimes we tend to abuse them, or maybe from our friendship relationships which have gone toxic. In such a case, we need to talk and check on our loved ones. That is the best prevention measures, you know. And wherever one is starting to experience a situation has changed, you know, something has happened, and you start feeling like this one is not heading to the right direction.
Yeah.
The first important thing you need to do is talk to someone.
Talk to someone. Those of you who are just tuning in, you talk to us. I mean, if you have any question, you could as well send it right now so that Daktari here can address it. I know they have a management plan to help you deal with depression. There's a treatment. There's a treatment line. We learned that it's not just a weakness. It is an illness. I mean, that's why they go to school to study all those years to get it right. I see questions coming in right now, and the first one is coming in from someone who did not specify, and as it is plain there, please send us your question with your name and where you are watching from. It will help us help you even better, perhaps also reach you if you would. Can high cortisol levels lead to depression in women? I saw someone nodding. Who is taking this?
That one must be very specific. Not only in women, it's not about women. Cortisol is a stress hormone, as we all know. Or for those who know, cortisol is a stress hormone that is released when one is experiencing a sad moment or a difficulty or struggling with any difficult situations. So in such a case, when you know this cortisol or this sad hormone is released in excess and it is not managed, or one is at a flight mode for a very long time and one is not managed, or they don't come to their normal functioning level. You know, there is a normal level at which all of us function. But when your body is like it is in flight, scared, in fear, I think it can lead to depression. Yes.
Thank you so much. I will begin with those who sent in their names and where they're watching from first. So I know there are very many questions today. Jackson, we take for Jackson. Jackson says, I've been feeling weak all the time, but my tests are normal. Could it be depression?
That's quite interesting. If there have been baseline investigation have been done, and there is nothing that is showing that this person is experiencing any medical illnesses, as we have said, it could be a pointer or a factor or something that is pointing towards this condition. And we normally classify them as somatic or psychosomatic illnesses that comes with a lot of persistent pain. And sometimes weak, because if you are feeling pain, it means you're not able to function. Yes.
Thank you so much for answering that, because we have a challenge today with misdiagnosis, underdiagnosis, a lot in the practice. And so if such people don't get help, really, it's a challenge.
Yes.
And if you would, Jackson, visit the psychologist. It's important that they help you also. All right. I have got Monica. We have Monica. Monica says, hi, how do you deal with family members who think depression isn't real, just laziness?
Wow. That's a
good question.
That's quite a good question, a very good question. Depression for a very long time has been misunderstood. Most people actually don't understand it. They associate it with normal daily functioning. But in a real sense, it is not the case. It is not one willing to be lazy, just, staying in the house, isolating themselves, sleeping too much. It's not laziness. It's a sign that one is experiencing a problem. And one way to help such an individual is to express empathy, listen to them, get to hear what is it that is making them feel that way. Yes, I think that is the best way to help such a family member, to listen, make them listen, and also communicate. Yes.
Family members, sometimes they're stubborn.
I want to add on that. family members sometimes they are very stubborn and they take that you don't want to work. But I would urge that nobody wants to feel sad throughout the day. Nobody wants to wake up and just stay in the house. Everybody wants to wake up. An adult wants to wake up and go somewhere. So as family members, when you see somebody just waking up, not willing really to go to work, they were working, now they have lost hope, they have lost interest.
Yes.
You should surely be interested what is happening to this person, and don't be angry at them.
Be judgmental.
Just don't be very actually judgmental. Don't judge them. Just walk with them. Talk to them, stay with them, understand them. I think the word understand understand them, that they could be going through something and they need help.
Yeah, and I think that is very important. The background I come from, right here, Overcoming Faith Church, they have a system of following up. Whenever we see someone has not, prayed for 1 week, 2 weeks,
Yes.
we are concerned.
Yes.
What do you have to say to believers out there, or maybe a word to the churches? How can we work together to help deal with depression?
Yes, the believers and all members who are viewing in this context regarding this matter, they need to understand that mental illnesses is real first. First we have to acknowledge this is an illness. It is not just any other issue that can be led free like that. And then apart from that, the pastors, the clergy, and the people involved in such a situation, they need to be close to their family, to their church member congregation, get to understand where they are coming from. Sometimes we have people, especially coming from humble backgrounds, and those humble backgrounds can be sometimes depressive in nature, because these people are really struggling. Others are facing hard times, and others are abused even within the same family members. So maybe when they are running to churches or to this faith-based organization and places, maybe that is where they are trying to seek help. So I think the best thing is to provide that safe space for them to be able to experience healing.
I will not add on that. I feel it is concrete. Thank you so much.
Okay, Karibu.
All right. I will take the person who sent the question with the name. Hey, Mark. I think Mark here is someone that needs help. He says, hey, Mark here. Let me ask if I take antidepressants. We were trying to avoid this discussion of drugs and diagnosis. Dr. Ali was running away from it. Now someone is here sending it head on. Mark, if I take antidepressants, I think this one tries to help us understand that there is treatment also.
Yes.
Will they make me feel like myself again, or just numb?
Okay. No, not really. As we were moving on very swiftly, one of the management we are yet to talk about, or rather we can talk about it right now, it is medication. Medication is part of the comprehensive management. If these symptoms have gone for a very long time and they have not been managed, I think the first thing is to be assessed. Once you are assessed, the doctors intervene. They take the baseline investigations after that, and then medications such as antidepressants or sometimes mood stabilizers. In such a case, for people like experiencing bipolar depression, it might also be issued. And antidepressant, when you are under antidepressants, you need to be continuously reviewed so that to ensure that the medication are working and they are helping you heal through that journey. Yes, but it doesn't make you necessarily. What was that question again? He said, what does it make him?
Numb.
Numb. No, it doesn't necessarily make you numb. It is trying to help to elevate the mood.
Yeah.
Better, but under monitoring, so that we can monitor maybe if there are side effects. If there are side effects, therefore, kindly seek your clinician or your physician immediately, or see your psychologist. Yes.
Great. I feel we are getting a lot of value from you people, and I don't know if members are sharing this with their groups and family members, but I feel it's very important. It also helps us reach this message out to so many people. And those of you who feel like partnering with us so we can get many people to find help, use that number on your screen. We have tires on your screen that you can use to support this movement. We have a question from people following us from JCK
Okay.
Hospital. All right. This is someone who says, is Anne, right? We have the question right there.
Yes.
What signs should I look for in myself or others to know when it's time to seek help?
No.
This is Anne in Lumumba Drive. Happy to see JCK Hospital.
Okay. Yes, my colleague.
Maybe persistent, one of it. Thank you, Anne. Persistent sadness. Like we have said, when you feel that you are interested in you are enjoying doing some of these activities like hobbies, maybe reading, listening to music, and now you no longer want to listen. That is another thing that you are not enjoying what you used to enjoy doing. Then loss of energy. You don't want to go to work. You feel like you are sad when you go to work. Then sleeping patterns. If you have been sleeping well and now you wake up, you feel just tired. You did not sleep at night. You kept on waking up.
Or sometimes
Also-
you find yourself sleeping too much.
Too much.
Yes. Yes.
Excess sleeping. Then eating patterns. You can start eating more, or you stop eating. You cut your eating. You don't want. Also, your social life. There are some people you are relating with now. You don't want even. Also, family. You can cut off yourself. You just want to isolate yourself and withdraw from
Yes.
Yeah.
things, even people issues
Yeah.
and other things. You don't want to face life now.
Yeah.
Because as we said, depression is inside, not more of outside. You can dress well, but inside it's bad.
Eating you up.
So depression is what you are feeling, because it normally affects the feelings, thought, and behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you start feeling sadness, your behaviors are changed, and your thought, that is when you should start.
Yeah.
You should go for medical.
For medical
I don't
help.
Maybe to add,
And
to add is very important
yeah.
on the suicide. You remember sometimes you might start experiencing thoughts of worthlessness, your self-esteem, your confidence.
Yeah.
You used to be confident, you used to have a very high self-esteem, but at this point you start feeling like your worth is declining. So those are some of the signs that you need to monitor while you are observing this condition we are talking about today.
Yeah, and I think that's very important.
Yes.
Because people always look for a way out, and sadly the devil communicates, suicide.
Yes.
So I'm enjoying the discussion, and
maybe
you guys
to
are
add
very
on
helpful.
that, on the substance, as we had, is very, very fundamental.
Yeah.
Sometimes a sign that you need to observe into
Yeah.
coping mechanism.
Yeah.
They start coping in a certain maladaptive way. Now this person never used to use alcohol, never used to smoke, but at this particular point, they have started enjoying drinking. They have started enjoying going out, partying all day, all night long. That is also a problematic that can show. And then conflict. Also, there could be an increased conflict with your loved ones.
Man U United.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like for example, sports, people who do sports.
Yes.
Is there a link between depression and sports? I don't want to go into the details, but you understand the question.
Yes. I think sport is a very competitive game, and I don't want to say much about it, but as you know, they do a lot of betting, and this betting, when they have, against each games, this betting can lead to a problem.
Yeah.
For instance, you have bet for a certain game, you have invested a certain amount of money, maybe rent, others invest huge amount of money, and then you lose that money.
Imagine, I mean, I don't know, but people are really depressed because of betting, and
yes,
God help us.
Yes, so that can be a problem, and it can lead also to continuous gambling. And when it becomes continuous gambling, on news just the other day, I was reading the Gazette, and it was showing that gambling is becoming a pandemic in Kenya. And one of these issues that is leading to this pandemic is because of, the adrenaline rush. They have lost. They would like to recover their money, and there's a lot of hope that is being sold to them that you can win. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. But at the end of the day, they don't win. What happened to these people? Many of them either have lost their families, they have lost their jobs because of just gambling that was a result of betting. Yes.
Loss of any kind.
Mhm.
Any loss of any kind is one of the causes of depression, major causes of depression.
Yeah.
You lose job, you lose a loved one,
Mm.
you lose money, a lot of money,
Yeah.
you divorce, that
Yeah.
is also a loss, you lose your partner.
Yeah.
All those things are.
And of course, that's profound
Yes.
because when you get now such, I call them snippets because I feel like you have a lot to share. I mean, members, JCK Hospital here, we have a representative, Madame Veronica. I feel she can even help extensively. I see so many questions. That is why I want people to check you guys out. Daktari, we have so many questions today and I don't know where to start.
Okay.
But faith, I mean, we come from a faith background.
Yeah.
And people feel like depression is spiritual weakness or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Help us address that today, once and for all.
All right. Can we say that mental illnesses is not a spiritual thing? It's an illness like any other physical illnesses. And maybe to help the members in such a case, we need to create a lot of awareness, a lot of psychoeducation, a lot of education to the members, to the clergy, to the pastors, and to the rest of the members within faith-based organizations. They need to be educated about mental illnesses. It is only through these education forums, like this one that we are having today, they are able to start understand these conditions. So they don't take harsh means of subjecting their congregates in ways that are not going to help them, but rather help their members seek help, as we had said, even provides certain safe spaces, and sometimes bring people on board, experts, psychologists, doctors, psychiatrists, clinicians, nurses, so that they can help them demystify some of these problems that is affecting our communities. Because when it gets worse, it becomes problematic. You are rejected even from that church in such a case, because the pastor, maybe they prayed over you, they didn't consider a medical or a psychological part of your condition. And then when it reached that point, even the members are start saying that person is not okay nowadays. So stigma
Comes in.
Stigma comes in.
Yeah.
And then now you see now it is escalating the problem.
Sure.
Yes.
And I like the background. Just in a few, 30 seconds to be exact, you can give us your parting shots, because I feel like we can take the entire day listening to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. My parting shot today will be to all members, to everyone who is viewing us, everyone who is listening to us. There is hope. Hope is there. Depression is treatable. Mental health illnesses are manageable. Come, seek help, talk to someone, and to anyone outside there, let's not stigmatize those people who are coming to you seeking for help. Kindly provide for them a safe space so that they can listen, they can be seen, they can be heard, and they can feel like they are in a safe space of them. They can feel themselves.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your parting
Enoch.
shot, Vero.
There's a saying that says that doctors treat, but God heals. So my last words would be, I want to add to the churches that they play a very big role in prevention. We didn't go deep into prevention, but they play a very big role in preventing depression as they work with the Christians, because I believe each and every individual, before they come to seek medical advice, they have visited their pastors, they have visited their churches, they have prayed with their pastors. So church should take a role in preventing depression. At the hospital, when people come for seeking medical advice or treatment, let us take proper history and do a proper diagnosis, so that we don't take somebody who was depressed home and treat them for chest pain, headache, and we just give them painkillers and tell them to go home. We are able to come up with a good diagnosis and we treat them. There is hope in treating depression.
Wow. It has sunk deep, and I mean, this is our kind of information. Thank you so much, our panelists, Dr. Ali and Vero. You have really given us great substance, and we are grateful. For those of you who have tuned in today, we want to appreciate you. And of course, just to emphasize that don't run away from your church or your place of worship. It's a great way to prevent these illnesses. I mean, the church is playing a very big role, and we want to appreciate the church. I want to appreciate those people who are advocating for mental health. Depression is not a weakness. It is a disease that can be identified, and it's so good to know what you're suffering from so that when you get help, you're able to testify. Thank you so much for watching The Healthy You. My name is Enock Kitondekijja. Until we meet next time, stay proactive, stay informed, stay healthy. God bless you.
Thank you.
At JCK Hospital, we understand that a child's smile is priceless. That's why our dental services are tailored with care and compassion to ensure your little ones have the best experience possible. From gentle checkups to specialized treatments, our pediatric dental experts create a safe and friendly environment, making every visit fun and stress-free. Because we believe healthy habits start young. And for the grown-ups, we've got you covered too, with top-notch dental care for the whole family. Visit JCK Hospital today, located in Roysambu, opposite Park University on Lumumba Drive, and experience dental care that's gentle, professional, and family-friendly. JCK Hospital, you first.